There once was a boy named Marco who lived in a little village nestled between golden hills and a wide, whispering sky. One summer morning, Marco noticed something on the old stone wall at the edge of the village square that everybody passed every single day. There had once been a beautiful painting on that wall, but time and weather had faded it almost completely away, leaving only a ghost of something beautiful. Nobody else seemed to see it. The villagers walked past every morning without stopping, but Marco stopped, and he felt something pull at him gently. He went to find Lena.
Where are you going, Marco?
Marco walked across the warm summer village and found her sitting on the stone wall with her sketchbook open on her lap.
It's amazing.
Lena stood before the old wall for a long time, her pencil completely still, her quiet, dark eyes moving slowly across every faded inch of the old painting. Marco watched her and understood. Lena was not seeing what the wall was now. She was seeing what it used to be and what it could become again. She came back the very next morning with her paints and her brushes and filled the corner nearest to her with delicate strokes of blue, amber, and warm green. It was beautiful, but the wall was enormous, and the small painted corner looked very tiny beside all the empty space that remained. Lena's shoulders dropped just a little. She sat down on the cobblestones and looked at what she had done. Across the square, Marco watched her quietly, and then he turned away with a quiet decision. He went to find Eli. He found him sitting by the stream, tossing pebbles into the water, patient and still, just as he had been the day he built his bridge. Eli stood before the wall the way he had once stood before the stream, quietly, patiently, running his fingers along the old stones, measuring everything with his steady eyes. Then he sat down beside Lena and opened her sketchbook to a blank page, and he drew a plan, dividing the enormous wall into small, manageable, finishable pieces, section by section, stone by stone, just like the branch. When Lena looked at the plan, something in her face lifted, and her small, warm smile began to return. They began the very next morning, all three of them together. Marco with his paint and water, Lena with her brushes, Eli with his measuring string and chalk. Eli measured and mapped each section with quiet precision, marking every boundary with soft chalk lines, the same patience he had once given to every stone of his bridge. And Lena painted every section with the confidence that had been growing inside her since the very first day she opened her sketchbook beside the stone wall. Marco ran back and forth between his two friends, carrying water, carrying chalk, carrying encouragement, telling them both every time they stopped to doubt that it was going to be beautiful. A small robin landed on the very top of the wall and watched them work. It hopped from stone to stone all morning, as if it had decided to supervise the whole thing. It took them 3 whole days, morning to afternoon to evening and back to morning. The mural grew across the wall, section by section, color by color, friend by friend. When Lena placed the very last brushstroke, a small, bright red kite in the summer sky at the center, she stepped back, and all 3 children looked at it together for the first time, because what they had painted was not just a mural. It was the village itself, the golden hills, the stone bridge, the cobblestone paths, and a kite flying in an endless summer sky. The people of the village stopped walking. One by one, they gathered quietly in the square and went still. The little robin landed on top of the finished wall and sang. And Marco understood something that day he had not fully known before. A kind heart is powerful, but a kind heart shared between friends, that is unstoppable.